What's up everybody? Unrested out here. I am in Shiga Prefecture. Today we're going to be checking out the beautiful Ishiyama Temple. It is one of the most well-known temples out here in Shiga Prefecture, and it's known for some of its most beautiful structures like Koi Lake and a little bit of a waterfall. And possibly, if I remember correctly, I've been here once before, there's a really cool little cave we can climb through to get to the other part of the temple, which is pretty sick. So I'm gonna take you along. I hope you enjoy. If you do, give this video a nice big thumbs up, smash that like button, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I am Unrested. Let's go. I'm here today to not just make a video about how beautiful this place is, like I've done many times in the past with many other different temples, but today's going to be a special kind of JFAQ where I walk around and tell you all the questions and answers that I have for all the different, I guess, emails, contacts, messages, Facebook messages, YouTube messages that I get asking me about all the stuff in the background of these different temples that I visit. It's a JFAQ that's long been overdue. So let's walk together today and find out a little bit about all the different parts of temples in Japan. The upper name of Ishiyama Temple is Setsu Kozan. Ishiyama Temple, sitting on the bank of the clear water of Seta River, is located in the south end of Otsu City at the bottom of Mount Garan. Ishiyama Temple is the 13th temple of the Saigaku 33 Temples Pilgrimage. This sacred mountain has the oldest history and tradition since the Nara period. Ishiyama Temple was founded 1,250 years ago in 749 by Bishop Roben Sojyo. According to the Imperial Order of Emperor Shomu, within the vast temple precinct of 118,800 square meters, there are the concealed Buddha of marriage, for safe childbirth and good fortune, handed down from Prince Sotoku in the main building, which is a national treasure and a World Heritage Site. The main Buddha is opened every 33 years by imperial order. Nyoi Iden, Fortune Kowana, relics of the Room of Genji, in which Lady Murasaki wrote her famous Tales of the Genji, something you should definitely check out if you are any bit into Asian history. This is one of the most famous written tales throughout all of Japanese history. Rennyoido, named after Rennyo Sohin, Treasure Tower, a national treasure used as a design on a stamp, and countless other national treasures from the Nara, Heian, and Kamakura eras. The beauty of nature during all four seasons is beyond words at this temple. The flowers in spring, the autumn moon, and the beautiful view from the Tsukimite moon viewing platform moves the hearts of travelers. With a backdrop of Mount Hiei and Hira behind the beautiful Lake Biwa, one of the most famous and largest lakes in all of Japan. There we go. Look, somebody's already posing for a picture up there. We got the entrance with the Ah and the Om Oni. The Ah being when you are born, you are having your mouth wide open saying Ah and screaming, and Om when you die, the last breath of that escapes your mouth, sometimes known as the death rattle. Come on, let's go. Alright, here's my favorite part. Down here, these are all the koi. You see them? Wow, that's a big one right there. Holy smokes, man. Alright, and then over here, I call this the Koi Cave. I love going through this thing. This is the main thing I remember from going here last time. This is a lot of fun. I don't know how well my camera's going to hold up as far as lighting is concerned. When you change the lighting really fast, usually doesn't do so well. But let's go through. Alright, here we go. Right here. I'm going to go into this little thing. I know it starts to get really cramped really quick. Alright, so let's see how we do here. Oh, see right away. You can see you gotta like kind of crouch down. And, oh, really? Oh, it starts to get really, really cramped. Oh man, I'm about crawling now. Oh, yeah. Trying to hold the camera and do this, not easy. All right. Almost stuck. All right. There we go. Oh. Okay, almost out the other side. Yeah, it's just a tiny cave. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do that for very long before I'd be falling over. And then as you can see over here, now we have to go across some of these rocks here, and they kind of lead you on like a little rock walk across the water. This is always really cool. Alright, I gotta be careful. Don't want to lose my balance as I'm holding a camera on the water. Alright, there we go. Alright, doing good. Alright, and there we are. Alright, I did it, I made it. Now where do we make it to? Over here to a little place where we can clean with holy water. Let's do it. Also, right by the water. Totally awesome. You got a bunch of koi just at the bottom of it. Very surreal. One aspect that I find totally amazing about almost every temple and World Heritage Site that I've gone to in Japan is they try their best to keep everything in the same theme. For example, even as you'd watch a vending machine around a corner, you'd see that it has artwork that best complements. For example, this is Tales of the Genji, and the artwork put on the side of a vending machine. And a tea ceremony put on the side of another vending machine that only does tea. On top of it, another fun thing for kids is the fact that you can collect stamps at all these different temples and World Heritage Sites. Usually there's a pamphlet that allows you to place the stamp in there. You can check it ahead of time on a piece of paper dedicated to checking how much stamp ink you have on there. And each temple and World Heritage Site has its own unique stamp. It's a really awesome aspect of exploring these places. Next up is the stair climb. Let's go. Up the stairs we go. A lot of people asked about this all the time, going to temples and stuff. I've actually done tons of videos on it, but before I did it with some pretty crap cameras. I apologize for that. As far as doing a JFAQ, there's a lot of different things you can answer about all these different places. For example, obviously Ishiyama, Stone Mountain, and there's a huge survival of Buddhism that surrounds nature out here, of course. Of course, your more city temples involve things like business and money, but it's kind of wherever the temple is aligned is kind of what the Buddhism and Shintoism surrounds. Now, people always question me, they're like, well, wait, are they Shintoists, are they Buddhists? And a little bit of both. They're kind of a mixed culture of both religions, and it's a bit difficult to explain. Imagine Buddhism being the religion, and Shintoism being the second religion that they borrowed the gods from. I think that's the most cookie-cutter way I can explain it. So right here behind me you see a bunch of gold statues, and almost every temple I ever go to ever, you always see either a subsidiary, like kind of shed-type build, or I would say even a pagoda or a kiosk that's filled with a couple hundred, sometimes as many as 1,000 of these. For example, out in Kyoto, there's a temple specifically called Temple of the 1,000 Gold Statues, and they have one room that is literally filled with 1,000. Now mind you, they are just as tiny as these, and some are even smaller, like maybe only like action figure size. And people always ask me about these too. They say, well, what are all these different statues? And I'd say they're kind of the equivalent to Catholicism's patron saints. More so in Shintoism, I guess you would consider them more like lesser deities. If you ever asked a very religious person in Japan what all the different gods of Shintoism were, they probably would not be able to answer you, as it gets into the thousands. And even within those, there's, I guess, sister chains of other gods and goddesses and deities and sub-deities and, like I said, patron saints. So this is just one little room filled with the ones that are part of this area of Japan and help out with the blessings of this part of its nature. That being said, within every different part of every different temple throughout all of Japan, usually there's a different collection. Sometimes a few of the same. For example, Abisu, the god of fortune and business, is usually around at every single place you will go, because everybody wants good fortune and good business, right? So I just thought I'd give you a little information on those, because that's also a common question I get. Now when you see like a little tiny temple out there, or kiosk, or pagoda out in the middle of a tiny island with one of those itty-bitty rickety bridges, those aren't actually for any tourists to go out there and try to get on. These are usually only for ceremonies and usually only lit by monks who have special access to these. So, although they're beautiful to look at, don't touch, just look. Now, just to cap this video, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit of history about a few of the buildings that you're seeing. The first one here, the Tahoto, or Treasure Tower as it translates. This tower was built 750 years ago by Yoritomo Minamoto during the Kamakura period. Of all the treasure towers in Japan, it is the oldest and most beautiful by consent, and is used to design the 4-yen stamp. The Dainichi Buddha is also enshrined here. The next one on the list is the building known as the Hando. It is the oldest building in all of Shiga Prefecture. The inner structure was built nearly 850 years ago in the Fujiwara architectural style, and the outer structure in the Momoyama style, which is a stage-like construction style. It was built, though donation came from Yorogimi, who gave all the money to have this created. In the inner structure, there remains the Room of the Genji, in which Lady Murasaki wrote Tale of the Genji. It is said that Lady Murasaki wrote Tale of the Genji in this room under the full moonlight in August 1004, and according to legend, she wrote the entire book in one night. So a lot of times, just out of respect for people who are doing prayers and stuff like that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of these places from a bit of a distance. For example, we're about to go up here and you're going to see some paper tied around different parts of different trees and votives hanging up as well. Now the paper you see tied around trees or tied around strings that kind of go in a loop and have this ornate design to them are pretty much the equivalent to, I guess you would say, like fortunes almost. You pay to get one of these small little tiny fortunes, and you only pay a very small amount. Most times it's just a donation, so you can even drop 1 yen in there if you want and take it, but most people drop at least like 100 yen or more. You take it, and either it has a very good fortune and you keep it with you and you take it home, but if it has a bad fortune, which most of them usually do, something bad that could happen to you, not necessarily is going to happen to you, but could, you take it then and you tie it to the tree or the line of ropes, and that will take that misfortune away from your future. It won't happen then. So it's kind of like you're paying for something not to happen, not paying for good luck. Votives are a little bit different. Those are those kind of like wood planks you see where people write something on it. Usually they're writing some kind of wish for the future. Let's come along and just take a look at a few of these. Out of respect, I'm not going to film anybody doing their prayers or anything like that, or obviously writing down a votive, but I will show you the ones that are already written down and the ones that are hanging as far as fortunes. You won't be able to read any of them as far as the bad luck little fortunes are concerned. So I think that's respectful enough, wouldn't you say? Well guys, that ends our tour here at Ishiyama Temple. I hope you enjoyed everything you saw here today. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm unrested with the tours and questions you requested. Until next time, this is JFAQ, Japan's Frequently Asked Questions. Have a good one.